This is Professor L.B. Gayakawad's English Literature Wave. I am Professor L.B. Gayakawad. I request you first to share, like and subscribe my channel. Today I am talking on Goodwill letters. It means we have to see the detailed notes or detailed information on the concept of the Goodwill letter. The Goodwill letter is a request letter to a bank, to a lender or other creditors to remove our missed payment or a mistake. So what is this? It is the request. The Goodwill letter is a request to the bank. It is a request to the lender. Lender means a person from whom we have taken the loan. That is the lender. And the creditor. Creditor means the person from whom or the agency from whom we have taken the loan. That is called the creditors. So if we have taken the loan from the bank, the lender and the creditor, and if we have made the mistake or if we have stopped our payment or our installments, then the creditors, the bank or the lender are very unsatisfied with us or with the person, actually with the customer, and that's why they are very unhappy and they give the bad remark on the account of this customer, and that is why the Goodwill letter is written. So next thing is that it is not good for our goodwill. So if the bank, if the lender or if the creditor have given us a bad remark about our mistake, about our stoppage of the installments, means we have stopped the installments and that's why they have given us the bad remark, or they have given us the black remark on our account, and that's why this is our mistake. So this thing is not a good thing for our credit, for our goodwill in the bank, and that's why we should make adjustment to keep our goodwill well, because it is very clear that the bank, the money lender or the creditor have given us the black remark on our account. That's why it is not a good thing for us to keep such a black remark on our account, and that's why we should do something, or we should do the particular adjustment to cancel, to remove this remark, and that's why our credit will be increased. Otherwise our credit will be lost. That is the main point. Thus these letters or this Goodwill letter is called Goodwill Adjustment Letter. The concept of this Goodwill letter is remembered or is called by the second name, and that second name is the Goodwill Adjustment Letters. The Goodwill Adjustment Letters means here we are going to make the adjustment to control or to balance our goodwill in the bank or at the lender or at the creditor. So this letter is known as the Goodwill Adjustment Letter or the Goodwill letter because our goodwill has been lost from the bank or the lender or the creditors, and that's why we are trying to remove that black remark given by the bank, given by the lender, or given by the creditor, and that's why we are writing the letter to them. And so this is called the goodwill letter, because we are doing all this only for our goodwill, and that's why these goodwill letters are there to write to the agencies to increase our goodwill. It is our request to the creditor, means through this letter it is our request to the creditor, because now they have given us the black remark. That's why we can request them only. We cannot be angry with them, because it is our mistake and we have got the black remark, and that's why we can request them. So it is our request to the creditor. The creditor needs no remove our mistakes. The main thing is that the creditor is not interested to remove, to cancel the black remark on our account, because it is not his interest, it is not his purpose, it is not his, I will say, selfishness. It is the selfishness of ours, means it is our mistake and it is not good thing for our credit. That's why we have to remove that black remark from our account. It is not the matter of the creditor, and the creditor will not take interest in our removing the black remark, and that's why it is not the matter of the creditor to remove our remark. But he or she removes the mistake finally, thinking positively. But if the creditor is he or she, suppose if the creditor is a woman, if the creditor is a man, they can remove finally that black remark from our account positively. It means that they have also to maintain the relations with us, and we have also to maintain the relations with them, and that's why for balancing the relationship, finally the agencies or the creditors finally accept our request and they remove our particular black remark from the account. We should be very much polite to write this letter to remove our mistake. What is the point? We have got the black remark from the creditors. So while writing this letter, we should be very polite. Polite means we should not be angry with them. We should be polite. We should be mild. M-I-L-D, mild. Mild means we should be a small man before them, because they are our creditors and we are the customers. That's why we should be polite while writing this letter, because we have to remove, we have to cancel our black remark or our mistake. We shouldn't use a negative tone to write this letter. Means when we are writing this letter, we should not use the negative tone. Negative tone means what? Our mood should not be negative while writing this letter, because it is our mistake. It is not the mistake of the agencies. It is not the mistake of the creditors, and that's why we should not be angry with them, or we should not be negative towards them, because we have made the mistake, they have not made the mistake, and that's why our tone while writing this letter should be very much positive and not negative. We should focus on the facts. Means while we are writing this letter, we should talk only the facts. Means actually what has happened, we should write in the letter. We shouldn't go into more details called a novel. Means here we are not writing a novel, or we are not writing here a book, we are not writing here a detailed matter. We are writing here only the facts, so we should write exactly the facts in brief account, means very it means very in a shortcut way. We should write all the matter and we should take the reality, facts, and this is the particular thing, because this thing will be respected or respected by them, and so they will accept our request. So don't forget, we have to remove our mistake. Means while writing this letter, we must not forget that we are writing this letter for cancelling or for removing or for requesting to remove our mistake, because we have already made the mistake and this mistake is not good for our credit, for our goodwill, and that's why we should not be negative, we should be positive, and so we should make adjustment with us, and we should always put this thing in our mind, and with the help of this thing we should write this letter in a very I will say in a very positive mood. Attach the supporting evidence to impress the creditors. Now it is our mistakes, that's why we have to attach or we have to give some strong evidences, proofs. That's why the creditors will be impressed, because we have to remove, cancel our mistake, our black remark, and that's why we should give them some proofs or we should give them some evidences. Ensure the letter gets to the right person. It means that we should send this letter to the right creditor. Means we should not send this letter to the wrong person, because again this letter will take the time and this thing will not be good for our credit. That's why we should write this letter to the right person. Don't ignore to follow up. Means we should take always the following up situation of this letter. Again and again we should take the follow up of this letter and start our credit with this letter, because this letter is our goodwill, this letter is our credit, and we are writing this letter only for our credit. That's why we should start we are starting our credit with this letter, and that's why we should follow this letter again and again, or we should follow the details of this letter again and again. Then we should request the creditor to remove the mistakes, to remove the derogatory mark, the black remark or the mistake, to create our goodwill newly, because it is very clear that we have to remove our mistake and we have to create our credit once again or newly, and that's why we should request the creditors to remove our mistake easily or happily or with the satisfaction. We should ensure the creditor why you made the mistake or not made the payment. Means while writing this letter, we should see exactly the reason why why the customer did not give the installment on the proper time, why he stopped the installments on the time. He should give the exact reason. Suppose I will say, if for example, if his mother is ill by cancer and a lot of money is spent on the health of his mother, he should write like that. So the creditor will think of his economical situation, and then that creditor will forgive him, and again he will start his installments, and again that black derogatory or black remark will be removed from his accounts. That is the point. Then the customer should write about the real situation. For example, the customer didn't make payment due to the break in service. Now the second example here we are discussing. Suppose the customer has gone through the break in the service. The company has dismissed him from the company because of some reason, and that's why he has not paid those installments on the time. So he should mention all these matters there, the exact reality there, and that's why the creditor will know that matter exactly, and then they will remove that black remark from his account. It is the forgiveness letter, or it is the request letter, or it is the forgiveness letter. Means the customer is requesting for forgiveness, and that's why we should be very humble, we should be very mild, polite there. The customer should request to remove his mistake again and again. So that is the point. Or the customer should not dispute with them wrongly. The customer should dispute. Dispute means he should discuss with them factually, means as per the facts, means as per the reality. So the customer should dispute on his mistake with justification. He should talk the reality with justification, and the company forgives him finally. Means when that company or when that creditor will understand his real fact, he will finally, or she will finally forgive him. We should mention the exact situation behind the mistake. Again, that point has come here, that we should write the exact situation, why the customer, or why we have made the mistake of stopping the installment, or why we have stopped the installment. We should tell them the situation, means real situation. But this letter cannot give us 100% success sometimes. There is no guarantee of this letter, that this letter will give us 100% success, but definitely the customer is a person, human, and the creditor is also human. That's why finally the positiveness or the positivity is there in the life of man, and that is always granted by persons, and that's why the creditor also will think of the customer, and finally this request will be granted. But it is said that there is no 100% guarantee by sending this letter. That is the point. The installment should be paid off regularly. Then we should write in the letter that I will pay the installments regularly. We should write in the letter, or we should start giving those payments or those installments on the proper time. Then the bank can think of removing our black remark. Then that bank will omit that black remark from our account, and then that bank again will follow up of what we have said to them. Actually, we are regularly sending them the installments or not, means that bank or that creditor will take follow up, and that's why we should be too much regular to pay the installments regularly. Finally, it is a letter for sympathy. It means that finally the bank or the creditors will show the sympathy to us, and they will forgive us, and our payment will be regularized. That is called the sympathy letter also. Write the letter short and sweet. Means we should write this letter sweet. Sweet means we should write the letter very beautiful, that they should be impressed by us. and that letter should be short. That letter should not be like a book or a novel. And send this letter on the website, means the customer should send this letter on the website or the particular address. If we are not sending this letter to the particular address, or if we are not sending this letter to the particular website, then this letter will reach somewhere, or this letter will not reach anywhere, and again there will be the breakage, or again there will be the stoppage, and again there will be the problem to create our goodwill newly with the creditors. So here today we have finished the topic goodwill letters. In the next lecture we will see the next part. Here again I will request you all to like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.